Thank you very much, Nada. We are... Collision of two teams teetering on the brink of the playoffs. You found if you want to see a collision of two teams teetering on the brink of the playoffs, you found the exact spot. It's United Soccer League action, Ottawa and Nashville on the way underneath Tennessee's Friday night lights. It is game night for the Nashville Soccer Club. This one has a special feel to it. The days in Middle Tennessee are shortening, and so is the margin for error in the USL's Eastern Conference. Tonight in First Tennessee Park, a matchup that can only be described using a cliche in soccer. It's a true six-pointer, a match where snatching 3 points is just as vital as keeping your opponent from doing the same. Welcome to First Tennessee Park. Welcome to 9th place Nashville versus 8th place Ottawa Fury. I'm John Freeman, joined by former Vanderbilt women's soccer coach Ronnie Woodard. These two teams met just 20 days ago in Canada's capital. Ronnie, what can we expect in the rematch tonight?
Well, Coach Smith has talked an awful lot about the execution of the ball in the final third. They've spent a lot of time this week working on their quality of their services and the timing of their runs. I expect we're going to see a really, really athletic, dynamic, and aggressive attack from Nashville today.
Ottawa won the first match 2-0. Nashville back in its friendly confines tonight at First Tennessee Park. The third member of our broadcast crew is down on the pitch. It's Nada Taha.
I did have a chance to talk with Coach Gary Smith earlier before the match, and he talked about that formation change and if we're going to see it again today.
Well, there were some good things that came out of Saturday's game in Cincinnati. So I'll be sticking with very much a similar setup. There'll be one or two changes in personnel just to try and give us a little bit more edge in that final third. The initial look, energy and drive in the group was phenomenal at the weekend. If we can get anywhere close to that at home with the supporters behind us and the added energy of being at home, then I'll be absolutely delighted.
Well, I'm sure the Nashville supporters will do just that. Back to you, Johnny, up in the booth.
Thank you very much, Nada. We are set for the starting lineups and opening kickoff. The Fury have crossed the border seeking 3 points. Nashville in its fortress of First Tennessee Park trying to jump back into playoff position. Our starting lineups presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners are next along with the opening kickoff. It's Ottawa and Nashville, minutes away from a massive matchup. Kickoff imminent. It's time for our starting lineups, brought to you by Pinnacle Financial Partners. The visitors from the Great White North unveil a starting 11 that is one player different than the lineup that defeated Nashville 2-0 in Canada just last month. Everybody in the 11 tonight on a foreign passport, including 2 players from a tiny archipelago off the west coast of Africa, the Cape Verde Islands. Forward Steven Dos Santos and the team's real playmaker, and Kevin Oliveira.
Kevin Oliveira, the 5'7", 22-year-old midfielder, leads the Ottawa team in minutes played this season. He's very mobile, has scored 2 goals in his last 5 matches. Look for him to be very dangerous today.
Turning our attention to the home side, Gary Smith adding gunpowder to an already explosive lineup by reinserting Lebo Moloto, Brandon Allen, and Ish Joe. But we focus on the rock in the back line. That's the mainstay, Justin Davis.
Justin Davis, in my opinion, one of the best defenders in the USL this season. He's a rock-solid defender. He's never seen a tackle he hasn't liked, and he's fearless in the air. Nashville is a better team with him on the field.
Taking a look at our official tonight, 45 years after his last show at Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, Elvis is back in Music City. Our referee tonight, Elvis Uzmanovic, 10 games police this year, 2 red cards and 3 penalties awarded in them. We'll start with a simple kick of the ball. It will end with one of these teams on the outside of the table's playoff dividing line. The next 2 hours decide whether it'll be the Ottawa Fury FC or the Nashville Soccer Club. Nashville in the gold and Ottawa in the black and red. Nashville will be attacking away from its supporters here in the first half. Quickly to work. They try and find Brandon out. Ottawa led tonight by Nikola Popovic, Serbian-born, Portuguese raised. Has coached in the Middle East, Africa, Bulgaria, and Spain, just to name a few. Last year, though, he led Swope Park to the USL final, along with current Nashville SC technical director Mike Jacobs. Jacobs' fingerprints all over tonight's match for both teams.
So nice to see just the recognition of someone that's on the technical side of the USL. They play such a large role in the recruiting, the identification of players, and actually the helping of hiring coaching staffs. And Mike Jacobs is one of the best in the league.
Beautiful night at First Tennessee Park. Today's weather in Middle Tennessee, a lot like what's in front of us with this game. It was stormy recently for Nashville SC. Could be much clearer by the end of the night. Supporter smoke now shrouding the field as Ottawa with its first venture forward. First involvement for Matt Pickens, who was injured in the last meeting versus Ottawa, took a knee to the back and sat out 2 games.
Yeah, that was a difficult challenge that he puts himself in the middle of, and was still called upon to finish the match because Nashville's already playing with 10 men. And so it was a difficult situation for him, and he just showed some really tough mentality.
Nashville led by Gary Smith, who told us earlier this week, quite simply, this game has more than 3 points attached to it. That was his quote. He's also got a special assistant coach on the bench tonight. I'll tell you more about that later in the broadcast. A little over 2 minutes gone. Nashville and Ottawa still prodding away. Big striker in the lineup tonight for Nashville SC. It's the unmistakable Tucker Hume, tallest player on the roster at 6'5". Gary Smith told us that he wants to get the ball out wide and then provide service to big targets in the middle of Brandon Allen and Hume. Washington, here comes the service. It's towards Hume. Had it put on a platter by Washington. Couldn't steer it on target. Nashville showing its capabilities early in the 3rd minute.
Washington's so quick when he isolates in a 1-versus-1 situation, and he puts a ball that's a little bit behind Hume, I would say, for what his preference would have liked to have seen if you were Tucker Hume facing the goal. So he had to pull himself back, change his body position, and try to get a strike on frame.
Our broadcast tonight presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners. A gorgeous evening for it. The B&A, the airport flight path, drawn right over the stadium today. We've been watching airplanes cross the field from the left to the right over the grandstand. The city's skyline in the background. It is a perfect place to watch a soccer game.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the broadcast pregame, and we're just talking about what a beautiful viewpoint we have of seeing the city overlooking this pitch. It's just amazing to have the opportunity to sit here in this environment.
Here's Obasi, the left back, trying to get past Isjome. The service is a good one. Destroyed by Justin Davis. Ottawa coming off of a draw in midweek at Atlanta. That was a game that was actually continued from 2 months earlier. They played Atlanta United 2. Couldn't finish the game because of a thunderstorm lingering in the area. And they said, well, next time we're back in the Mid-South, we'll finish that game off. They started it in the 44th minute, or restarted it in the 44th minute with a throw-in. It was 1-1, and it finished 1-1 as well.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a match that's actually physically come back and started from a throw-in.
You've been coaching for how many years?
Not too long.
Our Vanderbilt Health injury report still displaying the dying embers. That disastrous final 30 minutes weeks ago in Ottawa for Nashville. Bradley Bourgeois still nursing that hamstring injury, but is in the 18 tonight. That ball stayed in play. Nashville building the attack with Justin Davis. Sweeps in the cross. Allen got a touch to it. Sent away by Portilla. Well, Brandon Allen back in the lineup. Did not feature against Cincinnati. He's a striker that, when he's in form, he's one of the best players in the USL. But just 1 goal in his last 12 games at a Nashville jersey.
He started the season with such a bang and scoring goal after goal. And then, you know, sometimes this happens. You hit a little bit of lull in your game and it has a rhythm. And I have no doubt that Brandon Allen's going to find the back of the net again very soon and often for Nashville.
Allen was the USL Player of the Week in just his 2nd week in Nashville. Scored in 3 of his first 4 games in the gold kit. Did get a big goal against Pittsburgh on the road. That is one of the top results of Nashville's season. Gary Smith trusts Allen to break out of this slump in what is a crucial game. 2 teams teetering on the playoff dividing line. Right now, Ottawa, if the season were to end at this moment, they would be the last team in. Nashville would be the last team out. Keep up to date with Nashville SC all season long by visiting NashvilleSC.com. Access the latest team news, content, merchandise, ticket offers, promotions, and more. Check out NashvilleSC.com today. Maluda was chopped down. I'll draw the whistle of Elvis Uzmanovic. This is Uzmanovic's 2nd match in Nashville this season. Officiated a 2-0 win for Nashville versus Charlotte on a cold night in April. It's gone wide for Taylor Washington, and he skies the cross.
I wonder if he has a favorite honky-tonk yet.
Do you?
I absolutely do not have a favorite. I don't play favorites.
Not your scene?
Not my scene anymore.
Never grow out of it, Ron.
Oh my. Tell that to my soon-to-be 9-year-old son.
He'll be in them soon enough.
Exactly.
By all accounts, looking at these 2 teams, this could be a first goal is the winner type game. Nashville unbeaten when scoring first. 11 wins and 3 ties. They have just 1 point when being scored on first. Came last week against Cincinnati. And on the other end, Ottawa, in all of their 8 games that they have scored first, all 8 of those games have turned into wins.
So, you know, remember back to the game just as you mentioned 20 days ago. It was a stalemate. It was a hard-fought match. Nashville had a good part of the rhythm for 90 minutes. And then you get into the extra time and, you know, the whole rhythm changed the match. And Ottawa comes up and scores 2 fantastic goals, in my opinion.
And when you look back at that game for Nashville, it was the last 30 minutes that were not only a disaster during that game, but they had ramifications for their next couple games. You know, Michael Reed goes down with a 2-game injury. Matt Pickens goes down with a 2-game injury. Bradley Bourgeois goes down and still has not reappeared since his hamstring injury. And then London Woodbury gets suspended with his 2nd yellow card.
Oh, it was an absolute, I think we described it that day as a train wreck. It was like we couldn't stop it as we were watching it all unfold. And that was a span of about, you know, we say 30 minutes, but I think that's being kind. I think it was even less than that, John, to be honest.
Nashville has not beaten a Canadian opponent this year. Both 2-0 losses to Ottawa and Toronto. Both of those matches on the road.
John, did you know that I am French Canadian?
I do now.
Yep. My mother's maiden name is Bourbeau, and half of my family is in Canada, in the Quebec area.
Well, you were going to be perfect on the pronunciations tonight then.
Yes.
Ottawa is the only team in the USL without an American on the roster. They have stacked their side with Canadians, including a new signing, David Edgar, who started the season in a Nashville SC jersey before mutually agreeing to part ways with the club. He is not in the 18 tonight, but we do expect that he will feature quite soon for Ottawa, perhaps when they turn back home after this trip on the foreign soil.
It's a nice little driven ball from Crépeau back into that midfielder. That was well done on his left foot.
Towards Taylor Washington. Washington was quite active against FC Cincinnati. 13 crosses in that game. It's just 4 less than the entire FC Cincinnati team had as a squad.
And to be clear, 13 services came directly from Taylor Washington, not the Nashville Soccer Club team, just Taylor Washington. His ability to run that flank and get his hips around the ball and serve that ball back into the box and find his target is very, very good.
Tony Taylor is run on, Panamanian international. He's running up on Liam Doyle. Dos Santos, crafty step over, fool Matt LaGrassa. Hume went down, drew the foul. Also a talking to for his defender. Christian Portilla hauled Hume down.
The 6'5" Tucker Hume, who has a twin brother who is 6'5" also. Can you imagine feeding those two as they were growing up? Both played at Carolina and both play in the USL right now.
Hume has acquired a nickname from the FC Cincinnati fans. When he showed up to a preseason friendly, they said he was flopping around like a bird, and he was wearing all yellow or gold like Nashville is right now, and they gave him the moniker Big Bird, and he has since embraced it. So if you watch the highlights of that Cincinnati game and you see him after scoring his goal going over to the Bailey, which is the supporters section in Cincinnati, and mimicking flapping his wings. The fans have caught on, certainly.
Oh, look
mimicking
at that.
Flapping his wings. It was in homage to his Big Bird nickname.
How much do you love that? I'm a huge fan. That might be one of my favorite storylines of the year so far.
Here's his goal versus Cincinnati. Came late in the game. So Papa Mensah sending it back to Hume. And then the celebration. Here come the flapping of the wings. Big Bird in full flight. Questions on if Tucker Hume scores tonight. Will he bring that celebration back? There are also questions is, will he celebrate at all? Ottawa is his former club. He played for the Fury last year. Was third on the team in goals.
I have to tell you, if you're asking me, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind he will celebrate, and it will be a Big Bird celebration. Now, he could prove me wrong.
It's a tradition in soccer where if you score against a club that you're very fond of, one that you spend a lot of time, that scoring against them almost hurts you inside, as you will. And that's why you wouldn't celebrate. And some players have even gone as far as apologizing to the fans. But we'll see if he'll celebrate tonight if he does get a goal. A good look in the first couple minutes of this game, then not much sense. A combative first 14 minutes in the middle of the pitch, Ronnie.
London's just a little bit late on that tackle coming in. Feet weren't quite set.
Oliveira, a hopeful cross in. Going to bring it down was Daniel Haber, former FC Cincinnati man. Nashville's outlet denied. Quick snapshot, the back of Liam Doyle. Pickens with work to do, and it's a safety-first approach.
No doubt that would have gone out for a corner kick, which a goalkeeper never wants to concede, if at all possible.
Taylor switching the point of attack. The feet of the massive left back for Ottawa, Abassi. Rarely do you see left backs as big as Abassi, for 200 pounds, and 6'4".
And incredibly mobile. He runs this flank the whole game.
Taylor lets it fly. Questions about whether it was deflected or not.
I'm a big fan.
Goal kick for Nashville.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Abassi. I think the last time that Nashville played against Ottawa, he made a huge impact on the game. And just even today, he's already joining into the attack. He's been rock solid defensively so far, and he just has a huge presence. It just demands respect.
Don't miss out on any Nashville SC content, prizes, promotions, and behind-the-scenes action. Follow our handle Nashville SC on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat today. Allen looking to turn. It's gifted back into the midfield. Portilla heading the counterattack. Finds Taylor at full gallop. Defending is Michael Reed. Taylor freeing the left foot. Couldn't get it past Justin Davis. Tick-tack foul in the midfield on Meloto. Ottawa treating this as a precious opportunity. The center backs have ventured forward. They're showing great interest in this set piece, about 40 yards away from the goal. Ottawa's just 26th in the USL in total goals this season. They do find success on set pieces. 6 of their goals this year have come off of set pieces. They've got something scripted off of the training ground. Service comes in, it's good. Taylor Washington met it. And Michael Reed disposes.
I like that man running off of the ball. Meloto had to break off of the wall and track that, and it turned to be a very dangerous service. I'm not sure Nashville was 100% prepared for that type. They had a high line looking for the ball to be served in behind, and then that overlapping run was just really efficient. Now, the quality of the service lacked.
Quick reminder to the fans at home, this match is presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Big contest that Woodbury wins. Meloto doing the dirty work to stir it towards the midfield stripe. Eddie Edward has ventured forward. Finds Taylor. Born in the United States, has represented Panama on the international stage. Bassi uninterested. Nashville 57% of the possession. That is no surprise. It's an Ottawa team that rarely outpossesses its opponent. As Taylor Washington with an acre in front of him turns on the Jets and turns the corner. Washington service heading back post. Hume heads it down. Allen in the area. Banged away by Abassi. This is where Ottawa thrives on the counterattack. Steven Dos Santos. His nickname is Duba. He's from Cape Verde, tiny chain of islands, the west coast of Africa. 2 players from Cape Verde on this roster. Cross comes goes in. Lacrosse first to meet it. New prospecting. Nashville up the middle this time. Lodo with Washington, who again has found an acre of space in front of him. Rossi met it with his head. Ortia slammed it away.
That popped up and hit him right in the face.
And Woodbury is down. Woodbury, who didn't finish the game the last time these two teams met, was red carded, got a second yellow in the closing minutes. The red card in Nashville SC history.
Square in the face. Oliveira was just trying to flick it over the top, and London Woodbury took that straight in his nose.
Now, if you're new to soccer or just starting to get into the sport, you're wondering why that play was blown dead. As we get our Vanderbilt health injury, going back to the discussion is when there's a assumed head injury, the official, for fears of concussion, can blow the play dead at any moment. Now, if it's a muscle pull or an ankle injury, shoulder, anything of that sort, play cannot be stopped for that injury until the ball is kicked out of play. So that's why you saw the immediate whistle, and that's why you'll see a drop ball here, which is usually ceremonial, like a face-off in hockey, but when teams do the sportsman thing, which it appears Ottawa will do here, is Nashville won't contest the drop ball. It will be sent back to Nashville because it was their possession when the play was blown dead. And boys in gold will restart the offense from their back line.
Exactly. A great display of sportsmanship and, you know, player safety. And the risk of head injuries, I mean, it's in the news all the time. And so every sport is becoming very cautious, as they should, with the incidents of head-to-head, ball-to-head, any type of contact.
Nashville one win in its last 6 games. Gary Smith told us, times of adversity, find the teams grow. You either fight your way out of it or you collapse. He's got all confidence, sees signs in his group that they are going to fight their way out of this.
I don't think there's anyone that has ever met Coach Smith that would deny that that is part of his, ingrained in his soul. His teams always fight. They're always going to come back. They're never going to let it get them down. They're not going to panic. Coach Smith very rarely panics while he's coaching or even as a result of a play on the field.
Coach Smith was in good spirits when we talked to him yesterday. He was actually coming off of the pitch, a staff game that he had constructed. Told us that he had never had more influence in a game than that one during his entire career. He also told us to say on the air that his assistant, David Proctor, was awful.
I think he said garbage.
Garbage.
I think he said garbage. And I believe that Gary described himself as brilliant. His play was brilliant, and they were going to have to question whether David Proctor was going to get an additional call in to the next match.
It's a Coca-Cola corner kick. The first of the day in the 23rd minute. Come for the Ottawa Fury. In swinging, met by Liam Doyle. Oliveira reinserts. Bar good by Woodbury. Portable flex plans for season tickets start as low as $14. Reserve your place in line for MLS. Season tickets come with a $25 gift card to Hattie B's. Visit NashvilleSC.com today. Also included in your season ticket package, wild emotional swings, which we have seen throughout the season. There have been some highs, there have been some lows. Nashville trying to get back on the board.
May mention no additional cost for those
Yes.
either. Those are free with purchase.
12-game unbeaten streak earlier in the season certainly came with the season ticket package. Washington again has made inroads down that far sideline. These are in the Coca-Cola corner kick for Nashville. Ronnie, who's the target here? Clearly Tucker Hume stands out with his enormous height. Bradley Bourgeois, the typical target earlier this season, still on the sideline with injury. His Joe has ventured forward, and Liam Doyle showing interest in the 18.
Well, and don't forget the leaping ability of London Woodbury. There's a lot of really good targets in there for Michael Reed right now.
Easy pickings for Maxime Crépeau, French-Canadian goalkeeper who is second in the USL in clean sheets with 10. That's one more than Matt Pickens for Nashville. Actually had a streak earlier in May, went 6 straight games without allowing a goal. Not the biggest of goalkeepers at just 5'11".
No, but he doesn't give up very many opportunities, and he has a really great range on balls that are served into the box. He's very sure-handed, and he's very confident. Look, I mean, he plays clearly very far off his line, and he's excellent with his feet, too.
Davis had to get there first on that through ball to Tabor. Poorly done by Melodo. Ross's outlet pass leading much to be desired. Two slides for Nashville results in an Ottawa throw-in. Came to this one thinking we'd have a shootout. Came misinformed. These are two teams that don't give up a whole lot of goals. In fact, Nashville conceded the second fewest goals in the USL so far this season.
Hume's going to have to hold that ball when that comes into him. They're going to have to give him a little bit better ball than that deep into the midfield. He's going to have to hold up play and give his wings a chance to join into the attack. Well read by Woodbury.
Ottawa building at the feet of Oliveira. This is more possession than they're used to. In fact, this season they have played 6 games where they've had 33% or less of the possession. They have won 4 of those games.
Their execution on the counterattack is very, very good and incredibly effective. And we talked about it last time. Possession doesn't necessarily dictate a win or a result in the positive category. It doesn't give you 3 points if you're possessing the ball. Ultimately, the ball goes in the back of the net, and Ottawa does a really good job of sticking to what their game plan is. They defend hard and they counter very quickly. And for teams that have possession an awful lot and are attacking into that final third and putting pressure on them, it's very easy to catch them on a counterattack when they can dishevel their shape.
Led by one of the bright minds in the USL, Nikola Popovic, the Serbian manager. Really done wonders with this Ottawa team. Service was shipped back post and over everybody's head. Eddie Edward, the intrepid outside back in his 3rd season with the Fury. Doing tonight for Matt Pickens, the 36-year-old. He's allowed a goal in 3 straight starts. That's the longest streak of the season in allowing a goal. It's been a pretty good season. You can say that more than halfway through. Strong run from Jamar Dixon. Haber trying to sprint through. William Doyle wins the foot race. Davis with work to do. Lost it to Dos Santos. Dixon. Edward. Taylor. Rush back for Edward. This is neat combination work from the Fury. Their way out of a phone booth. Edward in the final third. Oh, how neatly done is that? And Lebo Moloto with no choice other than to foul the bombarding Eddie Edward.
Lovely little combination play in that tight space. Really good display of possession and patience from Ottawa during that entire time that they just had the ball on that right flank. And they've been rewarded with a free kick in a very dangerous area.
It's stagnant, and then this piece of invention. Just like you do in training.
Crafty little touch by Edward to combine with Dos Santos right there. I love that from a right back.
It's given Ottawa a free kick in a real peculiar position. Poor Matt Pickens has to honor his near post. Service comes in towards Pickens, he spilled it. Knocked it out as far as wide as Lebo Moloto.
That was a great strike, and I think I would question the shape of the wall if it was able to get to Pickens that easily. That would tell me that perhaps the wall was off and Nashville was expecting a service.
Moloto trying to flick through for Allen. That touched off an Ottawa player, but Crepeau off of his line to prevent the corner kick. Quick reminder to fans at home tonight that tonight's match is presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Pickens third in the league in clean sheets with 9. That's 1 behind Maxime Crepeau, who stands over 100 yards away from him. The other side of the field. Here's Moloto, a one-on-one against Adekora. Moloto cuts it onto his right foot, now dances to his left, squares it across, LaGrassa! His first USL goal for Nashville SC! In the blue and gold, surge in front!
And here it goes. Lebo Moloto with patience stands up the defender, plays it back across the seam to a streaking LaGrassa. But the whole play, and it's not shown in the clip, is started by Taylor Washington. He skies on a 50-50 ball, wins the head ball. Moloto runs off of it, gets to the end line, plays that ball back across what we call the grain, and LaGrassa has a simple finish. Thank you, Nashville, for playing a different type of serviced ball into the box today and finding a different area to expose. Too many times we've seen them serving balls consistently in, and that was different, and I am thrilled to have seen that goal scored today.
LaGrassa had scored in the U.S. Open Cup, but in USL play, that is his first goal for Nashville. It had been coming, Ronnie. He had had so many chances this season that were narrowly missed. He was due on a night where Nashville had to have a goal. Two teams right at the dividing line for the playoffs in the USL Eastern Conference table. And looking at the table now, if this game were to end right now, Nashville would jump Ottawa in the standings and be back over that playoff dividing line.
Staying in the 8 or above is a primary objective for Nashville with every time they step on the field. Let's revisit LaGrassa for just a mere second. His work rate alone during matches has everyone just pulling for him. You want him to be rewarded with the ball hitting the back of the net. He just is such an engine in the center of the field for Nashville. I'm thrilled to see him get rewarded with that goal today.
Can Ottawa fight back? Tabasi, the left back, moving forward. It's a heavy touch towards the byline. And now now, this is not where Ottawa is comfortable, playing from behind. In fact, Ronnie, this season, when they have lost games, they have been outscored 24-3.
Ouch.
When they get scored on, they have not been very good at fighting back and getting a result.
It sounds like the wheels fall off for whatever reason it is. Once they give up a goal, whether it's a change in formation, whether it's a change in mentality, that's not a favorable stat for Ottawa.
Also only won one game this season when being scored on. They're a Jekyll and Hyde team, to say the least. They're also an all-in or all-out team. Don't have any draws this season, just 4. They do have 9 wins and 9 losses. Typically, you see a team with a whole lot of draws, where their position at the table may be an even amount of wins and losses, but they're either going to win it or they're going to lose it usually. Get an inside look at life on and off the field from a player's perspective every Wednesday evening in the latest edition of From the Pitch on USLsoccer.com. Nashville buzzing, looking for more. Cross comes in towards Hume. It's Thomas Meyer-Giguère, the 20-year-old center back, repel the attack. Nashville sinks back to defend. Obasi muscled off of the ball by LaGrassa. Hume turned right past Portilla, the Spanish midfielder. Crossfield pass was read well by Tony Taylor. Hume prospecting in front of Adekora. Jerseys flooding forward, Melodo. Overlapping is Taylor Washington. Time to pick out his cross. It's loose on top of the 6. It's slammed away by Meyer-Giguère. Quick service from Isham. Down in the box. It's an offside call.
Offside.
The fans thought that Hugh may have drawn the penalty, but the flag was up.
There was some quality physical contact on this.
There's questions, Ronnie, looking back at the Cincinnati game. Hume's getting his jersey pulled, falls down a couple times in the box. He gets a lot of contact for his size. Do you think it's unfair? Sometimes a player the size of Hume maybe doesn't get the calls that a smaller player would. Would you agree?
I would agree. I think that, you know, players have to, defenders specifically have to do everything within their power to stop a physical presence from making an impact on the game, and whatever that takes. And most of the time, it's pulling a jersey to stop him at 6'5", to be able to out-jump them. In addition to his height advantage, then he jumps on top of it. So anything that they can do to neutralize his inch difference on them, they're going to do.
LaGrassa, the goal scorer, picks out Reed. Interested, is over the top ball.
So John, that's a good time to talk about the pass back to the goalkeeper.
Go for it, partner.
So right there, you saw that Edward took that ball off of his chest and knocked that back to Crepau, which means that he could physically pick that up with his hands. If a player plays the ball on the ground from his foot to his goalkeeper, the goalkeeper is no longer allowed to pick that ball up with his hands. He has to play that with his feet. So what will be awarded if he does pick that ball up is an indirect free kick inside the box.
Which is usually a mess.
Which is a total mess. And so you'll see defenders heading the ball back to a goalkeeper and the goalkeeper picking it up, or using a body part such as your chest to knock it back to the goalkeeper in order to maintain possession. Thus, the goalkeeper can then use his hands.
Now, if a player blocks a shot with his foot, backwards pass to the goalkeeper, so the goalkeeper can pick it up. As long as it's incidental or unintentional.
Correct. Incidental contact with the ball is not deemed an indirect free kick inside of the box. Now, we can't promise that referees always get the call right, because it is their discretion with what incidental contact is.
Soccer fans, pick up the latest NSC gear today online at shop.nashvillesc.com. Come by our team store located at 650 Rundle Avenue. There's a group of people that have been doing quite a bit of that shopping. It is the loud and boisterous supporters section of Nashville SC. Right now, going to be over 30 teams in the USL. Nashville in its inaugural season, the third highest average attendance amongst all of those teams. The only teams above them, the very established Cincinnati and Sacramento Republic. Nashville did break the inaugural season ticket record in the USL earlier this season with over 6,100 season tickets, and still counting and still available. Nashville looking for more. It's Taylor Washington who's blown right by his defender. Taylor's tempting square ball. Joe likes to put it onto his left foot. Takes it right instead. Rear service with his right foot. Delicious service. Edward was there on the back post.
Look at Joe facing up on that right foot of his. Same patented move that he uses with his left foot when he's on the left flank. He just executed very well on the right side. Put a ball into the dangerous backside of the 6. There wasn't anyone there, but Edward safely headed that ball out of bounds for Ottawa.
Set up the Coca-Cola corner kick. Ottawa has given up 4 goals off of corner kicks this year alone. Hume. This is chaos in the box. Loose ball still. Coolly done by Edward. Just a safety valve clearance. Hard ball to win from Reed, and he won it. Photo shifting. Washington preparing the service. It was denied by Portilla. Out for another Coca-Cola corner. Hume for Nashville. He's planted himself at the top of the 18. He's holding his run. He's the most likely candidate target for this corner kick. Swept it. Easily taken by Crepeau.
I like the movement of Tucker Hume on his run into the box. He feints towards the ball and then bends and gets in. He's still the target, he and Brandon Allen right there in that particular circumstance, but he goes towards the goal and bends away from the ball and finishes his run trying to shake off his defender.
Striker in the fold for Gary Smith. That means when he is able to make a substitution, he can reach deeper into that quiver of arrows. Now Rapapa Mensah is on the bench, being able to come in. You know, other attacking players out there, you know, Kosuke Kimura can even get upfield when they're trying to close a game out.
Well, don't forget Alan Wynn, who started in the last match up top with Tucker Hume. You know, and both Rapapa and Wynn give it a different look up top.
Don't forget Chris Tierpak, the new signing for Nashville SC. There is Wynn. There's Tierpak stretching. Comes the corner, excuse me, the cross. Nashville peppering the 18-yard box of Maxime Crepeau, the goalkeeper. Active first half Stay up to date with all the best from social media around the USL by watching Off the Post with Kelsey Steele every Friday night on the USL social media channels. Corner for Nashville. The chorus, their supporters. Never a quiet moment on a Gary Smith sideline.
It's probably a good thing there's not a microphone close to either bench in any USL match.
Tell that to the Indy 11.
I think you just did.
Here comes the Coca-Cola corner kick. It's Lebo Maloto taking it this time. And again, getting his mitts on it was Crepeau. Full service back in. Headed back towards the frame of the goal. And Crepeau kept it out.
Great footwork by Crepeau. Really great footwork. Just a lofty little ball that was going to sneak in behind him. And he did a really great job of reassessing his shape, changing his footwork and getting back.
This ball pops up and sent back in by Washington, and it seems like everybody just relaxes. It's London Woodbury, and then look at that. Soft hands for Crepeau to keep it from going over the goal line.
Yeah, and quite honestly, his first punch should have cleared that first line of defense, and he wouldn't have had to make that save later. But, you know, he didn't quite get as much distance on that punch as he needed to clear it and put it into a safe spot for Ottawa. Thus, the ball came right back at him.
Just 1 minute of first half stoppage time, already halfway through it. Last movement forward for Nashville SC. Players can't see how much stoppage time is left. All they see is the clock saying 45 minutes even. Washington is in the corner kick. Now the question is there enough time to take it?
I think he'll let it play out, and there'll be a whistle shortly after the end of this run of play.
Official Elvis Usmanovic has given all signs that he'll allow Nashville to take this corner kick. If Ottawa can get it anywhere outside, he'll surely blow the first half dead. Final chance in the first half for Nashville. Crepeau punches it away, and there is the whistle from Elvis Usmanovic. In a crucial night for Nashville SC. They woke up this morning out of the playoff picture. The goal in the 31st minute from Matt LaGrassa has put them back over that playoff dividing line. And Nashville SC will take a 1-0 lead into the locker room. Ronnie, quickly, your thoughts on the first half.
Well, just as they had said, it was going to be a spirited attack from Nashville, and that's what we saw. The thing that I like the most, and I think we'll address it again during the halftime talk, is that there was a varying different services for Nashville today from their flank players, something that has been desperately missing from their game.
We'll have stats, highlights, and a special video for you. Our halftime presented by Nissan coming up from First Tennessee Park, where Nashville SC leads Ottawa 1-0 after 45 minutes.
Oh, you thought this was gonna be easy.
Hey, it's Nada Taha here at halftime where we are up 1-0 against Ottawa. There's only one thing I may like better than winning, and it's dad jokes. And we spent some time with Bradley Bourgeois and Ryan James, and you can watch the video right now.
That's good. Oh, you thought this was going to be easy, huh?
Kinda.
Undefeated.
I thought you were going to be the easiest one.
Bring down the champ.
You're right, champ goes first. How does a man on the moon cut his hair? Eclipse it.
Was he Jamaican?
I don't know, I thought a Jamaican accent would get you. I don't know why.
I thought he was Jamaican, huh?
No, I thought it would get
Thought
you.
he would get me.
Yeah.
Why couldn't the toilet paper cross the road?
I don't know.
Because he got stuck in the crack.
Ah. Crack. Yeah. What's that? What are you doing there? What's that? What do you call a singing computer? Adele. This guy's crying. This guy's crying.
Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
I don't know.
Because he was outstanding in the field. Like, you get it? Because, like, he was outstanding. Like, he didn't move.
Yeah.
You didn't like that one.
Just chilling out in the field.
Right. Well, but he was outstanding.
Why did the bowling pins quit work? They went on strike.
You thought that'd get me, huh?
I get close enough.
Yeah.
I think I'll get you, you know.
No. What did the fish say when he ran into the wall?
Oh.
Damn. You don't like fish jokes?
My fish died when I was like 12, so yeah, that's, you know, it's not a laughing matter for me. Mr. Blue, that was his name, you know. It's kind of messed up, actually. What concert can you go to for 45 cents? 50 Cent featuring Nickelback. 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 Nickelback.
Yo, you're the worst.
I mean, I gotta say, my favorite dad jokes giver is Ryan James so far. But you can check all of them out at NashvilleSC.com and make your own opinion. Ronnie and John are back after the half with the first half stats.
forecast.
Back at a noisy First Tennessee Park, which was at its noisiest just about 15 minutes ago. A 31st minute goal from Matt LaGrassa is the difference as Nashville SC in a crucial contest beating the Ottawa Fury FC 1-0. Our halftime presented by Nissan. I'm John Freeman, joined by Ronnie Woodard. Let's look at our first half stats. Ronnie, anything that stands out to you?
Yeah, the only thing that's really standing out is the number of corner kicks, and that's a direct result of the flank play, specifically of Taylor Washington and Ish Jome running that flank, getting to the end line, serving balls back across, and they're creating dangerous opportunities. They had 14 services in the first half and 5 that resulted in corner kicks.
Looking at those shots as well, all 4 of Nashville's came inside the box. All 4 of Ottawa's came outside the box. Well, it was a stormy day earlier today in Middle Tennessee. It has turned into a gorgeous night. Let's go ahead and get our weekend weather forecast from our friends at Fox 17.
Hey there, soccer fans. Fox 17 Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan with you with a look at your drive home forecast for the evening hours. Temperatures slowly dropping back into the 70s, eventually overnight into the low 70s. But we'll look at a mix of clouds and stars through the evening hours. Stray thunderstorm early this evening, but otherwise looking at clearing skies overnight. Warm and muggy, winds light out of the north. All right, let's hear you loud. Our town, our club, let's go.
Thank you very much, Katie. The first half concluded. The second half about to begin. Nashville SC with a 1-0 lead over the Ottawa Fury. The visitors from Canada. Our first half highlights and the second half kickoff coming up at our halftime presented by Nissan. It's the closing moments of our halftime presented by Nissan. Nashville SC leading the visitors from Canada, the Ottawa Fury, 1-0. The Matt LaGrassa goal in the 31st minute is the difference as we welcome you up to our broadcast position at First Tennessee Park. I'm John Freeman, joined by former Vanderbilt women's soccer coach Ronnie Woodard. Let's dive right into our first half highlights. We'll start with the highlights for the visitors, the Ottawa Fury, who could not find the back of the net. Did have a couple chances in this one, particularly one early.
Oh, yeah, what a really great look. Exposed, getting open on that right side, but didn't really get his hips around the ball, and it really wasn't that dangerous of an opportunity when you look at it in the highlight.
It's a team that thrives on set pieces. They have 8 goals this season off of set pieces, but Nashville's defense up to the task.
Well, they tried to make it messy in that mix inside of the 18 on that corner kick, and it just didn't work for them. And it's the same situation that's happening on the opposite side of the pitch, too. Both 18s, it's been very frantic, very excited play from both teams, just trying to mess it up. And there's Taylor Washington. He has been streaking down that left flank and putting ball after ball inside of the box and picking really a different target every time. And here's the goal. Lebo faces up, chops back to his left foot, plays the ball back across the grain to about the 12, which we call the second 6, to an easy finish for LaGrassa.
For Matt LaGrassa, it is his first USL goal for Nashville SC. For Lebo Maloto, he now has his 4th assist of the season, right through the legs of Anua Abasi, the left back. And that's the goal that gives Nashville SC the 1-0 lead at halftime. Teams making their way back out onto the field. Still awaiting word if there will be changes for either side, but Ronnie, it's the second straight game in the 3-5-2 formation for Nashville SC. They're on the verge of another result in it.
Played well. You know, I think Nashville, for a good part of the game, kind of dictated the tempo of how the match proceeded, and they were impressive. I think the game started a little bit slow, but then they've quickly rebounded. Nashville got themselves into a good passing rhythm. And then just the flank play, the matchup that Edward and Washington have, the touches by both of them. So Edward, the right back for Ottawa, and Washington, the left winger or wing back for Nashville, have had a great battle, and they've both had the most touches on both of their respective teams. It's been a lot of fun to watch in this first half.
Looking at Nashville's huddle, it does not appear that Gary Smith has tinkered with his 11 that started the game. The same 11 will step out to start the second half. He does have Chris Tierpak, recently signed player, at his disposal on the bench. The man you see there on his left is Steve Guppy, 161 Premier League appearances for Guppy. He was a former teammate of Gary Smith at Wycombe Wanderers in England. He's an assistant coach with the Irish national team. And Gary Smith called him over. He's over here for a month in Middle Tennessee. Guppy was a wide player, and he's been at practice instructing Nashville's wings and outside midfielders on how to get quality services into the box. And the result is the goal here in the first half for Nashville SC.
And a varied service from Nashville, which I've been desperately asking for in many of our broadcasts. Please vary our services. Let's find a different target. Let's find a different type of ball that we can play into the box. And I think they've done that. And I would venture to say that there are very few coaches that know Gary Smith better than Guppy. Guppy was with him, Colorado, when they won the MLS championship, and they have a long-standing friendship. And I think that there's this amazing trust factor, and I thought that we saw an immediate result today in the flank play of Nashville's group.
Here's a chance. It's Haber. Had leaked through the defense of Nashville, and that's probably Ottawa's best look of the game. Comes in the first minute of the second half. Back to Guppy, the assistant coach for the next month for Nashville SC, or we say quality control like they do in the NFL. But Gary Smith, of course, played in the staff game that we mentioned earlier, and he drafted Guppy on his team. So a Premier League player playing in the staff game that Gary Smith said his side thoroughly dominated.
Well, and can you imagine the quality of the ball that was put on Coach Gary's foot, delivered from Guppy? I bet Coach barely had to move.
Here's Nashville attacking its supporters. It's Joe on his favored left foot. Haber was in the passing lane. Haber, courageous run forward as Nashville getting old jerseys back behind the ball.
That was a really dangerous ball played by Joe. That square ball was just asking for a counterattack from Ottawa.
That is where Ottawa thrives, in counterattacking positions. They are probably the team in the USL that depends the most on counterattacking.
Well, I believe it's part of their blueprint as a program. I think it's something that they work on consistently.
Hume was offside. Flag is up. the far side assistant referee. Keep up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7 by following at USL Soccer on all social media platforms. Both teams unchanged out of the locker room. Ottawa did not make any substitutions either. Through the midfield, Oliveira avoids a sliding challenge to the floor. A whistle from Elvis Usmanovic. Back by Portilla. Taylor wide. It's a one-on-one, driving towards the byline. So defending from London Woodbury. And now Tucker Hume trying to spring Brandon Allen. Backwards instead. Lodo down on the floor. Instead now it's Taylor. Another one-on-one matchup against Woodbury, and for the second straight time it's Woodbury who wins it. Dixon finds support. Portilla. Abassi. Taylor. Hopeful service towards Dos Santos and over Cape Verde International's head. Arnada Taha talked to Stacey Daniels, the fitness director for Nashville SC. What's the story on the stats down on the sideline?
I mean, these stats are kind of obvious. Matt LaGrassa is what he calls the workhorse, who has the most total distance in the first half. And Taylor Washington has been holding down the left side, running 21.5 miles per hour. I mean, he is just taken over that left side.
It's Washington who has been a menace against Eddie Edward, one of the best outside backs in the league. The way the players are tracked is they have GPS and accelerometers on their body as they play. You'll be able to see it as we get a closer shot. You'll be able to see those under their shirts. First, Nashville venturing forward with Washington. Ball plucked out by Oliveira. By Davis. Retrieved by Woodbury.
Good passing rhythm from Nashville right now. Again, with the 1-0 lead, you can remain patient. That was not patient by Justin Davis. Right when I said that, he plays a ball that just didn't need to be played. Nashville just needs to keep the ball moving. Pockets of space are going to open up the quicker the ball's moved.
Ottawa, you're a counter-attacking team. You're trailing 1-0 on the road. You're Nikola Popovic, their head coach. How do you crack this Nashville defense who's been quite stubborn at home all season long?
Well, they're going to have to defend a little bit higher than what they're doing right now in the match in general. They're just going to have to press those lines higher up in the field and see if they regain the ball in a more dangerous spot where they can look to tally a goal. Starting every attack from your goalkeeper is ticking off at the time.
It's a handball call against Ottawa. Kevin Oliveira, who we highlighted in our pregame, 4 goals this season. One of them came against Nashville on a spectacular strike. At the end of that match, he has been bottled up for almost 52 minutes of this game.
What a screamer of a goal that was.
It's a corner to concede from Mayor Giguère. Real casual defending.
Not the norm for what we usually see from him either. He's usually intense and deliberate in the way that he plays back there.
All eyes on Tucker Hume. He's got Dos Santos, the forward, who is tracked back to defend, a 6'5" striker. Motion in the box. Out swinging ball swept towards Liam Doyle. Now it's Tucker Hume.
Well, he went for that.
Get a full purchase on it. Took it on the half volley. Took a little skip right before he connected.
Right there, he adjusted his body. His hips were pointing towards the Omni Hotel and Resort the whole time when he was lining up for that. That was destined to hit the roadies.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select product and special offers, please visit www.selectsportsamerica.com. '54th minute, Nashville leading on the goal from Matt LaGrassa in the first half. Interestingly enough, not a single substitute warming up for Ottawa. This is not a very deep team. So much so that they only made one substitution between their last game against Nashville 20 days ago and this one today. They have taken a player, just as I said that, up off the bench, and it is Carl Howarth, one of their key cogs, 9 there, who's been hurt. He's missed 6 straight games. He is their captain. Gary Smith, when we talked to him before the first meeting, he said Howarth really is the straw that stirs their drink. He is one of their most dangerous players, but he's been injured and may not be ready for a full match. That's why he may come off the bench tonight.
Well, it looked like he just, the trainer checked with him to see how his warm-up was, and he gave the thumbs up. I think he's going to be entering the game soon.
Obasi darting forward. Taylor wide against Jome. Does well to plug up the attack. It's a very potent striker in Tony Taylor. 2 big players. Taylor, 16 MLS appearances for NYCFC. Nashville pinned back. Supporters emptying their lungs, trying to will them forward. Dos Santos. Portilla. A La Liga midfielder. 10 appearances in Spanish top division. Haber. Edward. Cut out by Melodo. Hume returning to Melodo. Can he get there now? Nashville would have been off to the races if the South African had been able to latch on. Obasi again called forward. Touring that open side on the left. Portilla. Survey. Switch the point of attack with Edward. Nashville with all 11 on their defensive side of the field. Necessary clearance from Doyle. It's on the interest of Brandon Allen. Hume with Melodo arriving in support. It's a great matchup for Nashville. Melodo against Edward. Instead he turns backwards. Now the boys in gold will enjoy a spell of possession. Almost looks like half-court offense, Ronnie.
It is a bit slow this half so far, I will say. But again, that's okay.
Joe tugged on, stays honest, stays on his feet, attempts the step over, and that is smartly done by the official Elvis Usmanovic. He wanted to play on. All officials want the players to solve it themselves, but once it was clear that the foul had occurred and that it impeded Joe from being able to keep the ball, then the whistle comes.
Yeah, really great evaluation by the referee. Joe fights through it, seeing if there's an advantage, and there's no advantage. He's out of control going into that second tackle, thus calling it back for the first foul. Good work.
Even though Joe took a couple steps the foul slowed him up, and it allowed the secondary defender to come over to a better spot to make the tackle, and therefore the advantage was negated.
Exactly. Lost his advantage.
Two-man wall for Ottawa. Comes the free kick. Hume down in the box, penalty. A penalty kick for Nashville SC. And a chance in the 58th minute to gain their second goal. Discussions from Jamar Dixon, the captain, towards the official Elvis Usmanovic, who has just awarded his 4th penalty of the season in his 11th game.
Good ball by Melodo. Again, I mean, that's a clear push in the back. I do think that you could see there, oh, that view gives it even more obvious. He was absolutely obstructed.
Standing over the penalty spot is Brandon Allen. 12 yards away, Maxime Crépeau, one of the best goalkeepers in the USL. It's Brandon Allen, sends in the pain! 2-0! Allen is back, and so is Nashville SC. As you like, Ronnie.
Expertly finished. Steps up on that left foot. Puts it into the far post side netting. Excellent strike. Oh, actually, I stand corrected. He read Crépeau moving to his left, had a bigger space in the goal, put it just to the left of the center of the goal. Well read. I thought at first from the angle he had put it to the side netting, but he actually read Crépeau and then put it into the closer down the middle and just secured the goal.
It's amazing how things work themselves out. 20 days ago, Nashville was in Ottawa. After the 80th minute, they were awarded a penalty kick. Brandon Allen picked up the ball, ready to take that penalty kick. He was talked out of it by a teammate. The penalty was missed. Nashville goes on to lose that game 2-0. Here they are against the same opponent 20 days later. Brandon Allen takes that penalty, and Nashville goes up 2-0. Nashville SC's next home game will be on Saturday, August 25th at First Tennessee Park against Bethlehem Steel. Single game tickets are available online at NashvilleSC.com. Carl Howarth has checked in. Steven Dos Santos, the striker's night is finished.
And we did talk about it in pregame that it was just a matter of time before Brandon Allen hit the back of the net again. And sometimes it's just as simple as converting a penalty kick that gets your goal scoring back on track.
For Allen, he had just 1 goal in his last 12 games. Now will the prolific scorer catch fire again? You have to go back to Tucker Hume drawing the penalty.
Absolutely. And again, that goes back to the conversation we had earlier in the first half, John, where you asked if it was fair that the so-called big guys were not as protected, right? Well, and I think right there, referee Elvis made a really strong opinion that he was going to protect him, and he was going to be consistent in his calls across the face of the field.
Dex imaging goal for Brandon Allen in the 59th minute. For Nashville, unbeaten this season when scoring first. 14 times they've done it. They've won 11 of those games and drawn 3 of them. Well on their way. Massive 3 points tonight unless the Fury can. It's a furious comeback. Allen tried to hold his run to stay on side. The assistant waited until he addressed the ball. Raised the flag. this stadium. Even tougher to come back from 2 goals, especially when the supporters get riled.
And Nashville's attacking the supporters' goal.
Substitution with Carl Howarth checking in was presented by White Claw. Howarth, 9 in black. His 5th season with the Fury, over 100 career games for Ottawa, the longest standing member of the team. Been with the team since their amateur days. He's had a goal this season, but has missed 6 straight games with injury. Very pacey forward. Took out the more sturdy, perhaps a little bit slower Steven Dos Santos. Joe trying to beat the ball to the byline, did very well. Crapo once again controlling the airspace. Melodo wanting more. That's a great service towards Brandon Allen. Save made by Crapo. Nashville still in business. Allen again. Another save by Crapo.
Brandon Allen has awoken.
This is great goalkeeping as well.
Really good. I love his first touch by Allen, but then his second touch left a little to be desired on that left foot. Great goalkeeping, great save, and then he decides he's going to strike it again. And unfortunately, he put it high. If he had kept that low, it may have been a little bit better look on frame. Make Crapo have to leave his feet instead of just having to extend that hand straight up.
Substitution taking place right now. It's presented by White Claw, and how about this? Bradley Bourgeois is back. The last time he played 20 days ago, pulled his hamstring against Ottawa. We thought he may be out for potentially up to 2 months. Here he is, less than a month later, back in. A corner kick was whipped towards Matt LaGrassa on the near post, and now Ottawa a chance to counterattack. LaGrassa, a professional foul, falling down the sprinting Tony Taylor. No complaints from LaGrassa, as he will get the first yellow card of the match. Had to slow up that counterattack, knew exactly what he was doing. Will gladly accept the yellow card in exchange for keeping Ottawa off the score sheet.
Just a little jersey pull right there, slowing down the play. Well-deserved yellow card.
Howarth, that's a great shot, and an even better save from Matt Pickens. It was on a rope. Pickens read it all along and buries it aside, and now Nashville a chance to salt the wound. Hume squares it across, Allen cleared away. Hume another chance. It's Brandon Allen, deflected, loose, Hume, no! How did that not go in? On either side, we stay at 2-0 somehow.
This game just got really exciting.
Suddenly, everyone stopped defending for a minute.
Except for the goalkeepers. Look at that strike from Hayworth. Oh my goodness, and that save from Pickens. And then here comes the counter. Tucker Hume, unselfish, plays it to Allen, who wanted it on his left foot. Quality defending. There's a flurry in front of the goal.
Now that should be a corner kick for Nashville, and they awarded a goal kick for Ottawa.
Yeah, and I think Tucker took a little knock to his shin in that altercation too. But I tell you what, that's a 6'5" man going to ground inside of the 6-yard box. That's a long way down.
Can't make the next match, head to one of our 36 Middle Tennessee pump partner locations. Official pumps of Nashville SC are the perfect place to grab a pint, talk soccer, and watch every match of the 2018 season with fellow supporters. For a list of locations and more information, visit NashvilleSC.com. Our town, our club, our pumps. During all the chaos, there was a White Claw substitution for the Ottawa Fury. Daniel Haber checked out, And Daniel Kinumbe checked in. That is Kinumbe's first professional appearance. He was signed on Monday, his first professional contract, the 19-year-old from the Montreal Impact Academy, member of the Canadian U23 national team, wears 23 in black. I'll give you the scouting report on him, but there's nothing to scout. His first ever appearance in a professional soccer match. Davis had to get his head onto that ball. Alworth was in the area. Quick reminder to our fans at home, this match is presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Your guest joining us, you've missed a wild second half. Penalty kick goal from Brandon Allen in the 59th minute is the lone tally in it, but both teams with clear-cut opportunities. Wild sequence just moments ago. The scoreline tonight, the exact opposite of what it was in Canada's capital last month. A 2-0 Ottawa Fury win. Edward has found a space of cross there on the right wing. Nashville limiting opportunities in the 18. Fury building the attack. Seeking a way into this Nashville back line and through it. Game where Nashville has had 54% of the possession. Portilla, Oliveira moving forward. Out wide, Kinumbe. The cross comes in. Destroyed by Davis, and the flag was up. It's offside on the Fury. It's a shame that these two teams will only meet twice this season. There's a couple matchups for Nashville. They'll meet a team 3 times, including FC Cincinnati, who will come into this building. As Nashville makes a White Claw substitution, Tucker Hume will exit. A couple chances for Hume, and he drew the crucial penalty there in the second half. It was converted by Brandon Allen. In his place, 20-year-old striker, Ropapa Mensah. He'll turn 21 years old this month. The 12th time this season he's been subbed in the second half of a USL game. He is an all-action player, Ronnie. 5 goals this season in all competitions and 5 assists.
And dangerous. He is super fast. And adding him into this mix, he should be able to play off of Allen quite well. And he's going to add a little bit more of a fear factor for the back line of Ottawa with a pace like that.
Vince's first involvement. Squared up one-on-one against Mayer Giguère. Tough assignment for a 20-year-old center back. So 2 20-year-olds battling on that far flank.
It's amazing the talent and how young these players are and how quickly they're developing. Athletically, they're just superior from where they were 20 years ago at this time in the sport. Well, Ropapa's first touch was a foul. He's just getting his feet wet, getting ready.
Into this season, this is his 20th appearance. He's only started 8 games in the USL, averaging a goal or an assist every 102 minutes. Not a bad number for a backup striker.
No, and he makes an immediate impact on the game, and I think that's what Coach Smith likes. He comes in and he adds a dangerous look for the attack for Nashville. And his production speaks for itself.
He also has his own t-shirt now. It's unveiled by the club. For sale online at NashvilleSC.com. Christmas is around somewhat, Ronnie.
John,
Top of my list.
I did hear that there could be a John Freeman shirt in the works. I did hear Lil Birdie told me that. And there's Ropapa. I'll call your mom and dad and let them know when it gets released.
I don't think they could give those away for free.
I would take one.
I know you.
Proudly displayed during the broadcast.
Here's Mensah going to turn on the Jets. Well, he's a handful. Mayor Giguère has done very well against the Ghanaian.
It's quality defending by Mayor Giguère. Did a great job getting his body in between Ropapa and the ball and protecting it.
Flag is up. This is offside. French Canadians on this Ottawa team. Mayor Giguère, the captain of the U20 Canadian national team. Did you know that 37% of the population in Ottawa can speak both English and French? They're bilingual.
No, but I don't doubt that. How's that?
Did you also know that Ottawa is the 7th coldest capital in the world?
Definitely did not know that. One more. Got one more?
Well, dress on me in the lounge after the game if you can tell me what the coldest capital in the world is. You're not going to get this. The capital of Mongolia.
Oh.
For those at home.
Oh, no.
Well, it was on the tip of your tongue.
You didn't give me enough time to get my phone out and Google it.
One more substitution presented by White Claw. It is Chris Manila. And he will take out Tony Taylor. And you wonder if this is raising the white flag for Ottawa. Manila was a preseason trialist as a center back. He moonlights as a midfielder, and he takes out a starting forward.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this unfolds and what he's going to bring to the game.
Nashville still hungry for more. Flopped in cross.
Great hand.
Repo, under 6 feet tall, which is undersized for a goalkeeper. He's been very good in the air tonight.
Excellent. His range, claiming balls that are inside of the 18, is really fantastic.
Time to vote for today's Budweiser Man of the Match. Find the poll at the official Nashville SC Twitter account at Nashville SC. Ronnie, no tweeting and broadcasting at the same time, so I'll take your vote over the air.
Oh, tough one today. You know, I really think that the body of work that Tucker Hume has put into this game and the last game warrants some consideration. His body, his physical presence, his ability in the box drew the second foul. I think the obvious choice is LaGrassa because he scored a great goal, and Washington for running the flank. But I really feel like Hume has added so much to the game that I think right now he's going to get my vote.
Tucker Hume. Will that be enough to sway the Twitter audience?
I'm going to guess no.
Tonight's broadcast presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Guessing no.
I'm going to guess
You're
no.
an influencer.
No. I'm going to guess that the goal scorers are going to get the nod, which I understand and I respect that. And I fully support a LaGrassa or even an Allen. Allen's had a large impact on this game today, too.
Nashville trying to see this one out on the verge of a crucial 3 points. Should they secure all three, they will hop Ottawa in the standings. It's also important because when it comes down to playoff tiebreakers, if two teams are tied on points at the end of the season, the first tiebreaker is head-to-head. So if they were to have lost this game or tied it, Ottawa, via their win in Canada, would have head-to-head. And the next team above Nashville in the standings, the 11, also has a head-to-head. Ropapa Mensah. He is a problem. Can make something out of nothing. Nearly the third for Nashville.
Papa faces up, chops back on that right foot. I see what he's going for. The bend was not bad. The idea wasn't bad. I like the fact that it's a varying of service or shot on frame.
Meloto wants Papa to make that run.
He was gladly obliging.
Meloto able to win this ball back in the mid. And Washington is on empty. Meloto did all the work, and Washington just didn't have anything left in the tank.
I'm not sure that everyone didn't expect a foul to be called in some way, shape, or form. Both teams.
Nashville's going to make one more substitution in a moment. See the mountain of the figure of Bolu Akinyoti over there on the far sideline. Akinyoti, defensive midfielder, and Gary Smith knew needed more of an offensive performance tonight. Took Akinyoti out of the lineup. Told midfielders to get forward. Now we'll bring in Akinyoti to try and seal this one out. Is there more for Nashville? It's Lebo Meloto! Here is the substitution. That will be Meloto's final contribution. Probably knew his number was being called. And it will be an attacking player coming out. And Akinyoti coming in. Meloto from South Africa. Yoti's won more tackles than anybody on the team. Twice as much as the second man on that list was Justin Davis. Destroyer of a midfielder. Real interesting profile from Nick Gray of the Tennessean. What about Yoti's journey to the United States? His father actually died in a plane crash when he was 2. He was raised by his mother. He moved from Nigeria to New York City as a young boy. And then progressed his way up the New York Red Bulls Academy, and now has volleyed around the USL and has found a real steady home here in Nashville.
Nashville has definitely appreciated what he's brought to the game. Let's put that on a pause while we watch this corner.
Coca-Cola corner kick. Kevin Oliveira whips in by the leaping Bradley Bourgeois, right back to the center. Abassi. Centered back across, it's nearly an own goal. Liam Doyle did about as well as he could, nearly on the goal line, turning aside the cross from Carl Howarth.
And that was a smile from Liam Doyle. A very rare moment. This is a, you know, I don't disagree with this. What a great framing of the ball, bring that ball back. I'm gonna give Doyle that was just sheer skill that he popped it over the goal, because if he had mishit that was a goal.
And if he hadn't addressed it, it would have been a tap-in goal for the offensive player behind him. Without a doubt. Does set up another Coca-Cola corner kick, this time right in front of the bandbox at First Tennessee Park. Pickens punches it high and wide. We'll restart again from the other side. Nashville defiant in front of tonight's Ashton Real Estate attendance. That is a capacity crowd of 8,694. Again, Pickens able to meet the corner. No nonsense clearance from Doyle. Trying to claw its way back, have not found any way through Nashville. Just a couple chances littered across the 82 minutes so far for Ottawa, but other than one quick shot in the second half, a whole lot to show for the visitors. This place truly is a fortress, Ronnie. Nashville has only lost one game in First Tennessee Park. Now the developing storyline is, will Matt Pickens get the clean sheet, move up to second in the USL in that category, and tie himself with the man staring at him from the other side of the field, Maxime Crépeau, the Ottawa goalkeeper. Pickens sitting at 9 clean sheets, Crépeau at 10. Mensah, one service from LaGrassa, who opts to go wider for Woodbury. Bourgeois, who was injured against Ottawa 20 days ago. Hamstring injury with all kinds of space to turn.
I love that entry ball from Liam Doyle.
Woodbury has picked out Mensah. Allen flooding into the box. Mensah almost found the streaking Allen. Sort of behind the striker. Bourgeois slows up the counterattack for Ottawa. Back to Bradley Bourgeois. He was in question of maybe missing 6 to 8 weeks with that hamstring injury. Slept in a hyperbaric chamber for recovery. A chamber that pumps pure oxygen into the air. You breathe it in. Apparently it works wonders. Gary Smith also said, well, he's also a young, fit guy, and that helped as well. And really astounding us all by getting back onto the field, and Nashville needs him. He has been one of their key cogs this season. Did they have hyperbaric chambers back in your playing days?
No. I can't, you know what we had? We had an ice bath. We had an ice bath, and we had a bag of ice and a stim machine.
Okay, stretching the budget there.
That was pretty much what we had.
Taylor Washington broke down Eddie Edward. And Nana Adekora, 29-year-old defender, had words for Washington.
Edward is still getting up. I think it's safe to say that Edward and Washington have worn each other out this game. They had a great matchup in the first half.
And now it's a stalemate.
Yeah, they were end to end. And now I think they're both pretty content to allow the game to play out.
Edward, one MLS appearance for Dallas. Actually scored the Fury's first USL goal back in their debut season in 2017. Nashville on the verge. A colossal 3 points. Just one win in their last 6 games. They have traveled back to the friendly confines of First Tennessee Park. They've only lost once this season. In fact, 20 of their 31 points in this campaign have come in Nashville. Of course, 2 of those points came in double draws at Nissan Stadium, so 18 of Nashville's points this season right here in this special stadium. Tonight's Budweiser Man of the Match voted on by you. There he is, number 20, Matt LaGrassa, got 60% of the votes. A landslide for LaGrassa.
Well deserved.
Oh, what a sweet through ball that is. Chance here, Kinumbe! Inches from bringing life back into Ottawa.
I would hold on to that ball for dear life, just like Pickens is right now, too. Then I would turn around and go kiss that far post.
And in Daniel Kinumbe's professional debut, nearly a golazo.
I mean, what a strike on his left foot, full steam, pulls it back across to the far post and pings it off of the back post. Excellent effort by Kinumbe.
Well, what a week it has been for Kinumbe. Signed a professional contract on Monday. Flew to Atlanta that day. Was on the bench in Ottawa's contest against Atlanta United 2 earlier this week. He will rue that miss all night. And inch closer. It would have been a goal that brought Ottawa back into this one. Once it was chopped down, Nashville continues to play on. Washington preparing a service. It's put off balance by Edward. And Adekora flying upfield. Well, don't forget that Ottawa scored both of its goals against Nashville in Canada in stoppage time. So not completely out of the question. And we saw a bit of venom from Kinumbe. Flag is up, it's offside. So Ronnie, Gary Smith was telling us in our conference call with him this week, he said he was excited about the formation change for a couple reasons. One being that if the 3-5-2 works, he now has two formations that he's comfortable flipping in and out of based on who the opponent is in the upcoming match. He's not married to the 3-5-2. It's not something that Nashville's going to go to every single game, but now he has two swords to bring to the battle.
Well, I think that's important for a realization for Coach Smith as he's getting towards the, kind of a do-or-die crunch time with points. And I think what he's realized is that it's just important to be flexible and pliable and to be able to assess your personnel and your opponent and their strengths and weaknesses and see what you can do to offset that with how you play.
'90th minute, Ottawa finding no cracks in the Nashville defense. Tried the over-the-top ball, stunted by Woodbury. The upcoming schedule for Nashville. Next three will be on MyTV 30 here locally. Big one against Louisville City next weekend. A couple home games against Bethlehem and Richmond. Richmond struggling, Bethlehem playoff picture. We can expect, as has become the regular here at First Tennessee Park, capacity crowds at all of those. Believe it or not, that will be Nashville's 4th game against Louisville this season. The 3rd in the USL, +1 in the Open Cup. And there's a chance that they could meet for a 5th time in the playoffs.
So you're saying the broadcast should be flawless with the pronunciations and the flow of the game.
Yeah, I'm not going to have to memorize anybody's numbers. 3 minutes of stoppage time, already a minute deep. Now the result for Nashville was completely secure. The second half penalty kick goal for Brandon Allen. Preceded by a 31st minute goal from Matt LaCrossa off a beautiful cross from Lebo Maloto. Nashville barred the door. They look for yet another clean sheet. Will be their 11th of the season. They can complete the next 90 seconds without conceding. Tackle from Akinyoti. Just about a minute remaining. Washington with no interest in going forward.
No reason for it at this point in the match.
This man does.
Well, yes.
He always has interest in going forward. Rapapa Mensah. Ottawa is spent. They played on Tuesday. They stayed in the Mid-South area. They played at Atlanta, entered their way up to Nashville. They also had 2 legs of the Canadian Cup after their matchup with Nashville in Ottawa just 20 days ago. This Game now running on fumes. Woodbury, the only one moving forward. It's a 1-5.
And he still turned the corner.
It's still London Woodbury. Trying to square it across where Mintza was in the area. Earned the Coca-Cola corner kick. But they'll never take it as the final whistle sounds. Elvis Usmanovic blows the whistle into the night in Nashville SC in a game that they had to have. They vault the Ottawa Fury in the standings. A comprehensive 2-0 victory. Thorough and professional, Ronnie.
Nice and buttoned up and tidy. Goal in the first half, goal in the second half, converted a penalty, kept a clean sheet. Didn't have anyone step off the field with an injury, which is always a plus at this point in the season. And Nashville advances.
Another clean sheet for Matt Pickens. He is now second in the USL in clean sheets this season, tied with the Ottawa Fury goalkeeper Maxime Crépeau, who lets in 2 goals tonight. Matt LaGrassa scores the first, Brandon Allen scores the second, and it's all smiles at First Tennessee Park. Nashville SC defeats Ottawa 2-0. Our post-game show coming up on MyTV 30. That man's goal in the first half, one of 2 tonight for Nashville SC. Matt LaGrassa and Brandon Allen both combined to score. And it's 2-0. Nashville SC gets the victory over the Ottawa Fury from Canada. Nashville SC thanks our corporate partner, Nissan Vanderbilt Health, Dex Imaging, Budweiser, Puckett's, Kroger, Heineken, Coca-Cola, MyTV 30, Fox 17, and Pinnacle Financial. I'm John Freeman, joined by Ronnie Woodard. And Ronnie, we saw a whole lot tonight. We saw the return of Bradley Bourgeois from injury. We saw 2 goals for Nashville SC. We saw a penalty kick, which we haven't had here in this park so far this season. Overall, a dominating performance for Nashville SC.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Nashville was sharp today. I thought that their game plan was effective. I liked their movement movement in the 3-5-2. I liked the quality of the services that they were producing and putting into the box. And I thought that the movement in the box was dynamic today, and I thought far more dangerous than what we've seen.
Can you tell Bradley Bourgeois is back?
That's my favorite. I have to tell you, it is my absolute favorite, and I was slightly distracted watching him do that as we were chatting about the recap of the game, but I do love it when the drums come out.
Well, his screen time is up because it's time to take a look at our stats, and they don't really tell the story of the game. They're relatively even, but Nashville dominated.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it just a few seconds ago. I mean, I felt like Nashville was on the front foot for the whole game, as Gary likes to call it. They had possession of the ball. I mean, although the passing accuracy is similar, the possession is similar, I thought Nashville was far more dangerous in pockets of space, and I thought that their looks on goal were far more dangerous than we saw from Ottawa.
Take a look at tonight's pinnacle save of the game. It came when Nashville was leading 2-0. A lifeline for the Ottawa Fury. This shot from Carl Howarth turned away by Matt Pickens.
I mean, what a strike from Howarth. He got a window on that left foot. He struck it to the far post, found the center of the ball, hit it clearly, and Pickens comes up with a huge save, parries it far away so that it got past the additional Ottawa attacking player that was waiting there for a half chance inside the box. Well-deserved save.
10 clean sheets for Matt Pickens this season. Justin Davis, the center back, another strong effort as he talks with the supporters. Ronnie, we're about to close up shop here. Your final thoughts on this?
Just a great performance by Nashville. I think something they can build upon moving forward. I think now's the time for the momentum for them. I think it's time to gain 3 points every single time they step on the field so they can climb that ladder and they can get themselves into a really good, solid playoff position.
We'll wrap up our broadcast tonight, presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners. For everybody involved in the broadcast, John Freeman, for Ronnie Woodard as well, saying thank you so much for your work tonight. Also, a big thank you to everybody who watched this evening as Nashville SC, 2 goals at home and another clean sheet in First Tennessee Park. They take down the Ottawa Fury. Nashville started the evening below the playoff dividing line. They were tied with Ottawa, but they were losing the head-to-head tiebreaker because of that loss in Canada. They have now evened the series 1-1 with Ottawa, and they have vaulted the Fury based on goal differential. Nashville Soccer Club is back in playoff position as we head down the stretch here in the inaugural USL season for the blue and gold. For everybody involved in our broadcast, thank you so much. For everybody who watched, thank you as well. It was another good one at First Tennessee Park. Nashville back in action at Louisville next Saturday. We'll have that right here on MyTV 30 and ESPN+. Talk to you then and have a great week.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.